Here are 5 tips to help you overcome failure when starting your own video production company. Let's get started. What's up everybody, welcome to Mike Zuniga Films, the channel where we talk about how to start and grow a successful video production business. Now, in today's video, the topic is how to overcome failure. As you can see, I have my trusty iPad with me right here, and we're going to start with number 1. Let's get right into it. Number 1 is to not dwell on your failure. If you make a mistake, if something happens and it doesn't go your way, the last thing you want to do is to dwell on that. The reason why is because the more you keep that within your mind, the more it's going to grow, and the longer you're going to get stuck where you're at, and you're going to have tunnel vision. You have to roll with the punches. Once you have gotten past that failure and understand what has happened, the next thing you want to do is to take ownership. One book that I highly recommend you read is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. He's an ex-Navy SEAL, and he talks about owning up to any mistakes and failures that might happen, not just from him, but also his other team members on his SEAL team. And I find that very true because as an owner of your own video production company, as you start growing, you're going to have maybe an editing team, maybe other crew members, and what's gonna happen is everything is not gonna go 100% your way. You're gonna make mistakes, they're gonna make mistakes. But the last thing you wanna do is to blame other people for the mistakes they've done. So for example, there's been times in a film shoot where some of my videographers weren't able to get a specific shot. And instead of me blaming them when explaining this to the client, I took it upon myself to handle that failure, because it is up to me at the end of the day to instruct them and make sure they get the necessary shot, to put them in the right position to do so. Even though they did not get it, I am still the team leader and I have to own up to that failure. So another example of this is my own failure. And this was when I was first starting out, and I believe 2016, I was hired to film real estate videos in Arizona. So I was hired by a real estate agent. I flew out there, filmed the properties, it went well. Once I flew back to California, I started editing the videos and it was time to export. But this is what happened. As it was exporting, my computer crashed, the files got corrupted, and I was not able to recover them. I was honestly freaking out at this moment. I did not know what to do. After calming down, I looked at what are the possible solutions to fix this. And that's what takes me to number 3. Find a solution. You have to have a clear head in order to look at what are the different ways to fix this. What I did was, after realizing that I'm not able to recover the files, I called my client and told him what happened. And obviously he wasn't happy about it. So I offered to fly back out, film all the properties on my own dime. But unfortunately, he said no. Why did I offer to do this? I could have said, well, I'll just refund you. But this is a service-based business. Running a video production company is based on relationships and providing a great service, even if you make mistakes and it's your fault. I wanted to make sure I still provide the product. I did not care about paying for the flight there and, paying for it on my own dime. I wanted to make sure that the client still felt good. And even though he didn't want to go through with it after the fact, I still had to offer, right?
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
That is one thing to at least keep in mind. Just because you make a mistake, at least find ways to make the situation a little better. I refunded the money and I ended up losing a client, and that was that. And that put a bad taste in my mouth because I knew it was my fault. I was so naive back then that I relied too much on one external hard drive to hold all my files.
You abandoned me!
So from that time forward, I learned from my failure. I made sure to double back up, triple back up all my files after filming for a client. If you don't learn from failure and take the necessary actions to fix that, then it is gonna be a failure, right? The first times a mistake happens, it's a mistake, right? You have to get past that. But if you don't take the necessary actions to fix that for the future, it's going to be a failure, and that's on you. So hopefully you've been enjoying this video so far. If you have, please give this video a thumbs up. It's highly appreciated to help grow this channel. Okay, so number 5 is experiment. What do I mean by experiment? Well, if you ever taken a science class, or if you ever seen a scientist, experimenting is part of the job. They don't get the solution they want or the outcome they want on the first try most of the time, right? They have to go through different experiments, making mistakes, failures, and then they may eventually reach the outcome they want, right? So that goes along the same lines of when you are running your own video production business, you are going to have to do certain things. You're going to have to try new things and experiment, and failure is just part of the process. Mistakes are part of the process, but you have to get comfortable doing that. So for example, improving your communication skills, reaching out to prospective clients, going on phone calls, and doing your sales pitch. It is part of the process. It is going to be awkward at first. You might have the fear of rejection. In order to improve, you have to have the mindset that this is just part of the process, right? If you don't go through those necessary steps, how are you going to get better and improve your business and improve your video production side of the business, right? The creative side as well. Don't try to avoid mistakes. Focus more on problem solving, because that's all it is. Either on the creative side of your video production company or on the business side, you are solving problems consistently. On set, as a business, how do you improve your marketing? How do you improve your communication skills? It's all part of it, right? So you kind of have to switch your mindset in a way on what you're focusing on, which is not make a mistake, to, all right, how do we solve this problem and find a solution? So I hope this video helped. If it did, please comment down below how you handle failure. And with that being said, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.